What's up, young blood? I'll come back. Excuse me.
All right. We will, as Councilmember Boone said,
What's going on, man? How you doing?
I would just thank you all. I would just reiterate that there is a reception out to my left of chambers. Also, before our next recognition, I just wanted to take a moment. Vice Chair of Philadelphia County, Omar Sabir, is here with us today. We appreciate you being here. Thank you so much. I would next like to recognize Councilmember Michael Julian Bond in honor of Dr. Robert A. Holmes, and everyone who is here with Dr. Holmes, please come forward.
Thank you very much, Mr. President. Would all the family and friends of Dr. Holmes please come join us?
Okay. Let's let family know.
On the end of the fence. Can you say speech? Say speech.
They show out yesterday. Oh, wow.
Oh, Doctor, come on up. Here, put this on him. Special treat for our honorees. Well, thank you very much. I want to say good afternoon to everyone in our listening sphere. I have the great pleasure and opportunity today to honor someone who has given outstanding service in the world of academia, the world of politics, and the world of business, and of course within the realm of our own community, Dr. Robert A. Holmes. And I have a proclamation here today that reads in pertinent part, in honor of Dr. Robert A. Holmes. Whereas Dr. Robert Bob A. Holmes is an esteemed businessman, civic leader, attorney, academic, and politician who served as a member of the Georgia House of Representatives from 1975 to 2009. He made history as the first African-American representative to serve on the Georgia's Budget Subcommittee. And whereas a native of Stephenstown, West Virginia, he was able to overcome extraordinary obstacles to escape poverty. He graduated from Shepherd College and received a PhD in political science from Columbia University at the age of 25. Whereas for more than 40 years, Dr. Holmes has helped shape history by providing leadership on numerous civic and community organizations at the local, state, and national levels, for which he has received immeasurable honors and awards, whereas he has served as chairman of the Georgia Legislative Black Caucus, whose 35 members made it the largest black caucus in the U.S. Under his tutelage, more than 200 bills have been successfully enacted to law. Over 50 books, monographs, and public policy value articles have been authored or co-authored. And whereas Dr. Holmes is the first living African American in the state of Georgia as an, hold on, having a senior moment, as an interstate named in, the only African American to have an interstate named in his honor. The Bob A. Holmes Freeway began at the intersection of I-85 and 285 on the west side and extends to I-20. Whereas he is the co-founder of two Georgia commercial banks, North Georgia Bank and Capital City Bank, a life member of the Alpha Phi Alpha Fraternity Incorporated, and a member of the Etna Lambda chapter in Atlanta. Whereas Dr. Holmes is an influential voice in academics and politics and has a commitment to public service, perseverance, and the hard work earned him a special place in our city's history. Now, therefore, we, the members of the City Council, on behalf of the citizens of the city of Atlanta, do hereby proclaim this day in honor of Dr. Robert Bob Holmes in our fair city. In witness thereof, I have set my hand and have caused the seal of the city of Atlanta to be hereunto affixed. Congratulations, Dr. Holmes. Are any comments from our elected officials or? Oh, of course, Councilwoman Boone. Oh, sorry.
Dr. Holmes, on behalf of the people of Atlanta and the neighborhood that you have lived in for several decades, we appreciate you, we love you, and this is a special recognition award from District 10.
You know, it's being a daughter of the South, and when I mean South, I don't just mean the South from the United States, I mean the South of Atlanta. And you cannot know what this man has done as what I call an unsung hero. Because as educated and as smart as he is equally humble. And if it was left up to him, he wouldn't even have this today. I think about the times coming up in Southwest Atlanta, seeing him at meetings, seeing people give incorrect information, and he would quickly, with a nice smile and a humble way, check them, okay? And so I want to tell him personally today, we would not, especially in Southwest Atlanta, have what we have if it had not been for people like you fighting for us. So I want you to know everything that we have and everything that we want to have is because of what you and others that came before us did, especially for the people in Southwest Atlanta. And you are an unsung hero, and I'm here today to let everybody know this man did a lot for the community. He may have done it quietly. Everybody can't be a hellraiser like Jose and me, but they still can get the work done. And he got a lot of work done behind the scenes. He did it very quietly, quickly, and without acknowledgement. And sir, I acknowledge you. Thank you.
Senator Ford.
This is a real interesting day. I'm at City Hall and I get to speak twice. But I wanted to say a few words for two reasons. One, I served in the legislature with Dr. Holmes, and Dr. Holmes had an impact. He was, among other things, he was on the Green Door Committee. And y'all don't know what the Green Door Committee is at the state capitol, but that was the committee that got together after everybody talked about the budget. The Green Door Committee got together and told you what was going to be in the budget. And so I was very humble oftentimes, searching out Bob to get my pet projects in the budget. And that's no small thing, because as the commissioner said, what Bob Holmes has done has affected people's lives directly. If you go over to Atlanta Tech or Atlanta Metropolitan College, there's a good chance you're in a building that this gentleman got the money for at a time when we need to bring up our children in a positive way. Bob Holmes allocated a great deal of his time to build those buildings. We don't worship buildings, we worship what those buildings are there for, to teach our children. So this man is important because he was in the state legislature, but also because he did things over there. Some folk over there at the state legislature just sleep. And I hope I don't offend anybody, but some of them just sleep. Bob Holmes would never sleep. He was a respected member of the state legislature. But the other reason I wanted to say a few words is he was my teacher. In 1978 or 1979, first time in Atlanta, he taught me. And Maya Angelou said, people will forget what you said or what you did, but they will remember how you made them feel. And I remember as a student being awe of Bob Holmes. I remember the class, it was a class
Well, first and foremost, I wanted to come back over here today. Thank you, council members, for this great honor that you're bestowing upon our Midnight Basketball League. From the very beginning of the inception of the idea of Midnight Basketball actually came from Mr. Theo Pace, my deputy chief of staff. He was talking about it with me. He knows I was big in youth development and wanting our youth to have opportunities and things to do. And Theo said, well, Mayor, there's something that I know about in Chicago called Midnight Basketball. I said, let's look it up. Let's get all the ideas down. He helped put the paper together, and we looked at it, and we came to Raimondo and to LaShondra Burke and to this great Department of Parks and Recreation, and they said, let's do it. Now, that was before the pandemic when I was a city council member. Then we came through the pandemic, and then this year we wanted to make sure that these youth in 2022 had some things to do. And so we started up Midnight Basketball under the leadership of Raimondo Davis and others here that put that program together. And it's been a wild success. It has truly exceeded all of my expectations. That's what happens when you got good folks working with you. You say, let's do something, they say, let's go, and they went way out there and did an amazing job, a phenomenal job, where every time we started just Wednesday nights. We started Wednesday nights going from 7 p.m. to midnight. So successful that now we have it on Monday nights as well. So we have Wednesday nights at C.T. Martin, and then we have, and that's in District 10, and then we have it in Roselle Fan in District 12 with Antonio Lewis. And you got bands that are playing, DJs like Ricky. Ricky is the MC that keeps the party going and makes everybody energetic, and that really helps, Ricky. You're doing a great job down there, Ricky Brown. And the community aspects of it is what I like. How you might see 3 generations in there. You'll see the grandparents, and you'll see the young people playing, the students, and you'll see their parents. So you might see 3, you might even see 4 generations if the young men have children of their own. And it's a whole family environment. We got ice cream, hamburgers, hot dogs, free haircuts. And, you know, a lot of camaraderie, and it is where we learn conflict resolution. A young man said this on the news, because the news likes to follow us around, think our good ideas ain't that good until they find out they're great. They said, let's do an investigative report around Midnight Basketball and see are the results real. But when they did the results, they found out that nights that we have Midnight Basketball in those surrounding communities, crime was way down to nothing almost. And so it showed that we were all participating in anti-violence and in community building by having Midnight Basketball, and we expanded to 2 locations. We've had 300 plus individuals participate, and it's a model program. And people now across the nation, right, Raimondo, they call you and they ask you, how can I get Midnight Basketball in St. Louis? How can I get it in this city and that city? And they come down to learn about Atlanta, and of course they just be coming here to have a good time too. And so, colleagues, I thank you, members of the City Council and Council President Doug Shipman, for your leadership and your participation. A lot of you have come out to these games. Amir Faroki was a basketball player, a trainer at Duke. I know you know a little bit about basketball. And Antonio Lewis, I beat him on the course of a time or 2 on the court. No, I'm just kidding. He beat me one time. And I even got hurt on playing midnight basketball at Roselle Fan. Lay it all on the line. But I just wanted to, as y'all were honoring these folks, I wanted to make sure I tell all of the departments of this city that have supported Midnight Basketball, from constituent services to the police, to fire, corrections, watershed, Department of Public Works, and Parks and Recreation, the solicitor's office. Everybody has come out and supported these young men, and I thank you, young men. Finally, I want to say to you, thank you for coming out and really giving it your all. Those playoff games, those finals, were some of the best basketball you can see in the city. It's some of the best basketball. The first game, the first finals went down to 1 second and 1 point. Like, we played a game all to get down to the end, and it was a 1-by-1 point at the end. I think that happened a time or 2, and Antonio's team didn't win. Oh, come on. But but they played hard, and everybody did what they needed to do. So thank you, Councilmember Boone and others, for putting this together. And next year is the Year of the Youth. We are declaring 2023 as the Year of the Youth. So council colleagues, city staff, every department, everybody's got to figure out what they can do to support youth activities, whether that's internships, whether that's apprenticeships, or whether that's just great, support of a student in a scholarship capacity or midnight basketball or something like that. So we all need to find a way to support you, and midnight basketball is here to stay forever as long as I have something to do with it. Thank y'all. Can I take a picture?
And I really want to recognize this coaching staff and our director, Coach Doug Smith, and the Honorable Ramondo Davidson. Let's give him a hand. Thank y'all so much. Thank you. Mr. Davidson.
Well, thank you, Councilmember Boone. To our mayor and the administration, I want to say thank you for believing in this vision and giving us the opportunity to facilitate this vision. To the members of council, President Shipman, and all of the members of council for your support, and especially the Parks and Recreation team, Commissioner Cutler, Deputy Commissioner Voss and Dotson, and just all of the recreation team. None of this could have been done without you individuals, and so I do appreciate it. What we looked at was how we could change the trajectory of what was happening in our city. We want Atlanta to be a city of choice where people can live, play, and just work and have fun every day. And we wanted to change the dynamic and the mentality that was being placed on our city. So midnight basketball, I believe, has done that. I'm thankful for all of the support for midnight basketball, and I'm looking forward to next year. And also, Mayor, I wanted to let you know that we were able to, for season 3, take midnight basketball into all 9 council districts throughout the city. Thank you.
Great.
Commissioner Cutler.
Yeah, on behalf of the department, I'd just like to thank Director Ramondo Davidson, the coaches, the young men that played basketball. Again, as the mayor said, I think one of the great things about midnight basketball is that the community comes out, that people show up, they support our young men on the court, having a great time, and excelling at a sport that they enjoy. And that really makes a difference when the community comes out to support our young people. So again, we're going to have season 4. I would encourage you to come out, support our young men as they play basketball at our community centers this next year. Thank you.
Coach Doug Smith.
First of all, my name is Douglas Smith. I'm the coach for the C.T. Martin Vikings. I just want to thank the mayor. I want to thank Ramondo Davidson, Charles Brown, and Cedric Jordan for putting it on for us. We just like to thank the players for showing up. Also, I'm a Grady baby. Recreation saved my life. I participated at South Bend, Pittman Park, and I'm an Atlanta public school kid. So I just want to thank the mayor for bringing this back, helping our youth. Also, in remembrance of C.T. Martin, I want to thank him for being who he was and is, a public servant. He did so much for me and Coach Trace over at the center. And last but not least, our soldier, our true believer, Ms. Andrea Boone, for giving us every support that we ever needed at that rec center representing District 10. We just like to thank her so much because she's unwavering and she's always there for us. And I want to thank her for that. And thank everybody else who supported us.
The Honorable Matt Westmoreland, followed by the Honorable Michael Julian Bond.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you, Councilmember Boone. Just a quick thank you. I am grateful to the adults behind me who made this possible, proud of the young men who took part week in and wake out. And just like the mayor said, the 15, 16 of us are here to do right by our youth. And I'm pumped about the Year of the Youth. Yeah. So I think there's a lot that can come from that. And this is a great way to get that started. So thank you, everybody.
I want to say good afternoon to everyone. I want to say congratulations to the coach and the team for
Revelation. Not one person, not one human was born from the womb of a woman canal. That's in your Bibles. I want you to know ACI, Atlanta Commission on Women, we got women on the street with children. You got seniors can't find homes. We got all these people got proclamation. All y'all stood up there, Miss Collier, Overstreet, Mr. Antonio, Lewis, but they're 33 and a third degree Mason. I'm a spiritual man. I'm representing 360 degrees, studying how to become more of that to represent the love of humanity. You have poor people, dark matter people, living on the street in Atlanta. You city members, don't you know you could do something about it? You had all these people here today. They're gone now. When it's time to talk about the poor, they don't even want to talk about that. They don't want to put the issues on the table. So I'm asking you, what are you going to do, Mr. Bond? It's cold out here. It's Martin Luther King celebration next month. What you going to do? Just talk about celebrating and eat and raise money? What are we going to do for the people? Mr. Amos, you know it didn't take but 500 people to put you in office. So I'm asking y'all, let's do right by the people. Let's find a way. It's time not to let our people suffer, Mr. Westmoreland. It's time now.
Time has expired.
And I greet you as I did not. Mayor, Matriarch Hotel, Assalamu alaikum, Ashe, and Ashe.
Thank you. Next is Ron Shakir. Due to yielded time, you'll have 4 minutes.
Ron Shakir, Southwest Atlanta. I appreciate the opportunity. I'm always happy when I see these proclamations. I wish they can be organized and been done on a Sunday, but I'm really endeared with the information I find about the men who come from small cities, from humble beginnings, and how and where they was raised up and what they have contributed. That's why I was very upset this past week when I brought a young lady who I had just met 5 days ago, sitting at a pit bench at a service station, Quick Trip, and she was suffering from a place to lay her head. We called around, and a company pad that the City of Atlanta have established, and they picked her up and took her to Gateway for men. I've talked to other people that have been used that service, Gateway. It's very open, no privacy. We in the City of Atlanta tore down public housing. We just got finished honoring a man who lived in a very small city, who went to a very small school that they had categorized as a black school, no doubt. Alabama, Georgia, throughout the South, these schools was characterized as segregated, less capable schools of producing good people who's gonna contribute to society. One day coming from New York, I passed one of those schools and picked up a rock and threw it at that school. I thought I was throwing it at Jim Crow. My cousin said, "What are you doing? That's our school." Yes, in this day, we are throwing rocks at our schools and our community, and some people are sitting on this city council right now. They're seeing where discussions of schools to continue to be closed. The coach that we just got finished honored, he talked about the small communities that have produced giants. Every day when you pass legislation, if you're not looking at the impact that it's doing to black communities, little black boys and girls, where I sat and showed up at Finance Committee where the money is spent at, I sat in a committee that was chaired by Mr. Wan. I have been at city council meetings where boys and girls, black and white, have stood on the back wall and you had kind words to say to those little children. And a couple of times they walked up to the mic and they endeared them with conversation. But not last week at the financial club, at the financial committee, Mr. Wan tore into them and said, "No, you cannot." What do they hear? The only thing that boy said, "I want to give my time to my mama." He was one of 6 children that was outside with his mother, homeless in the city of Atlanta, tore down public houses, spread out Section 8 vouchers throughout the city and the county, some in which they cut the buses off after they gave it to them. But now you can't hardly find a place to use Section 8 vouchers. This is a terrible thing. We know of biblical stories where a woman couldn't find no place or no food or water to drink. That's what's happening in the streets of Atlanta. Women with children and men stand in hotels, and we wonder what the boys are doing. They're not trying to sit in a hotel room with 2 beds. They're moving around. They have energy. But we take the energy of housing away from our kids. Mr. Shook was in San Francisco. You know what he said? He never seen such homelessness like that in San Francisco. But you know what, Mr. Shipman? In Atlanta, we are facing homelessness like we never seen it in their children. And our children, when they come down here, Mr. Wan, they ought to be respected.
Your time is
You ought to find kind words for him, Mr. Wan. You ought to look him in the eye and say,
Your time
little
has
boy,
expired.
little girl, I wish you well, and I wish that you can come back at another time. Thank you, instead of saying no to them, Mr. Wan.
Next, we'll have Henry Jordan, followed by Leslie Ramirez and P. Berth.
Giving honor to the Spirit of God to everyone that's here. These 6 things does the Lord hate. Yea, 7 are an abomination unto him. A proud look, a lying tongue, and hands that shed innocent blood. And heart that devises wicked imaginations, feet that be swift and run into mischief. A false witness that speaketh lies, and he that soweth discord among brethren. Proverbs 6, chapter 6, the 19th verse. The 7 things the Lord hates are listed. The first 5 being described poetically under parts of the body associated with particular sin. A proud look, lit proud eyes. A lying tongue, hands that shed innocent blood. A heart that devises wicked imaginations. Feet that be swift and run into mischief. A false witness, and he that soweth discord among brethren. But whoso shall offend one of these little ones to believe in me, it were better for him that a millstone were hanged about his neck, and that he would drown in the depth of the sea. Matthew 18:6. Offenses are viewed as reality that must be accepted in the present world, but woe to prophetic condemnation to death to the one who is the source of the offense. When you put your behind my face, you ask for death. When James Swift and the government create unjust laws that steals the income Jesus created through me of over $59 billion, then they ask for death. So Christ will back up his word and will give you death. And ye shall know the truth, and the truth shall make you free. St. John 8:32. The income Jesus created through me was created by his word to set us free. Christ says, the income in my hand to set you free and others free. Unless you obey, you will be bound like the homeless, calling on Jesus. You reap what you sow.
Time has expired. Next will be Leslie Ramirez, followed by P. Berth, and then DeJuan Robinson.
Hello. Like you mentioned, my name is Leslie Ramirez, and I know many of you guys because of the work y'all do in the community. I do know that there are many differences and there's a lot of needs in our communities, and I see your hard work. I'm very thankful for your hard work, and I know we don't all see eye to eye. There's room for progress. There's always a need, and I'm very thankful. So just keep up the great work. Thank you.
Thank you. Next will be P. Berth, and then DeJuan Robinson. DeJuan Robinson, and you'll have 8 minutes due to yielded time.
Good afternoon, Council. Atlanta has taken a lot of steps backwards, but in some ways we move forward in some areas. We have just a few bad apples that we got to get out of the bunch. And I thought that most people in government hate corruption, but sometimes it seems as though we hate black corruption, because we have a 12-year-old that go to school and live in District 9, but we have yet to have the representative, Dustin Hillis, to reach out to the family, to offer support. I mean, that's sad, man. I mean, I had to deal with this growing up in Boyne home with Felicia Moore, a black woman. Hard for you to speak out against a black woman because they think you attacking a black woman. Then we got Dustin Hillis, who don't give a darn. Out of respect for you, Mr. Shipman, everybody up there, I want to cuss so bad, and I want to put myself in jail because I really want to put hands on this man because he don't give a damn about the black folks in District 9. I really hate that, man. I really do hate that. And one of these days, I'm going to see him out, and we're going to have a manly conversation because you are disrespectful, because you don't do jack nothing, and you represent a lot of rich whites over there. And I go to a white Presbyterian church with a lot of rich white folks, and they not pleased with your actions and other folks, and you know this, man, because this book that I think every city councilman need to read, it's called Atlanta Then and Now. I look at this book and I see that the Fox Theater was about to lose their space, and there was a nonprofit that saved them. It was a concerted effort for 4 years straight, Save the Fox. Nonprofit organization Save the Fox Theater. The Fox Theater recently gave $5 million to Grove Park Foundation, who does nothing. Same purpose built that Shirley Franklin done behind. They are set up to do absolutely nothing, and their mission says it. You have about 8 board members on Grove Park Foundation that are millionaires. Got a relationship with the CEO of banks on the board. They don't do nothing for the poor people in District 9. Because the so-called leader over there don't do nothing, don't give a darn. Ain't nobody holding these people accountable, man. So I don't even know why we even be running for office or why we I don't know what's going on. Like we sitting here let a man his way out of there about redistricting the maps because he don't want